is the largest and most personal investment that any of us will ever make. Be sure to tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. when Bob Kennedy, owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, will be answering your questions and discussing real estate. So remember, that's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. 622-9622 with your questions. It pays to be an informed buyer or seller. This is news you can use from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty and your friends here at WOCA.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Wow, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Who did this?
P&P Tikis and more, of course. Now I have a tiki hut for shade, and I can enjoy the sounds of my cascading fountain while feeding my koi fish in my own pond. They even fixed my fence and redid all my landscaping. Nice to see a professional, reliable, family-owned business. Yes, P&P Tikis is the natural Florida tiki builder and water features designer. With free estimates, P&P Tikis is licensed and insured. Call 352-877-3307 for your very own tiki hut and more. That's 352-877-3307. P&P Tikis.
WWWOCA, WWWOCA.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Thank you, Dan. 25 minutes before 8 o'clock, it's drizzling here at the studios of The Source, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall. It is currently, let's see what the temperature is, 67 degrees, a little bit cool. Mm-hmm. Do you know what is amazing to me? I have a fan in my bedroom, and I've noticed that the last week or so when I've been using it, it hasn't really been pushing a whole lot of air toward me. Oh. So I looked at it, I said, well, it must be dirty, but it wasn't really that dirty. It's one of those, fans that's on a stand. So.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, maybe that little bit of dirt is causing a difference. And boy, was it. It took me no time at all to clean the thing. It's really easy to take apart and clean. Uh-huh. I basically put it in the bathtub and sprayed it with the shower. Uh-huh. But anyway, and so I put it back together and says, whoa. Just a little bit of dirt will stop a lot of wind.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's a great quote.
And if you I don't know. You mean as a metaphor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean in actuality.
Yeah.
but if you think about that and you apply it to like an air filter like in your car, mm-hmm. and you realize that just a little bit of dirt will make a really big difference.
Yes.
You know?
For sure.
I'm not that mechanic or anything. Well, anyway, did I tell you it's 67 degrees? It's raining. It's expected to continue raining all the way through tomorrow. Thursday's, I guess, the first day on this forecast anyway that shows partly cloudy skies. Friday looks nice. Saturday looks nice. Sunday looks nice. Monday, and then next Tuesday, again, the same as today.
Nice.
How about that?
I like it.
So First Friday Art Walk is this Friday again.
Yes, it is.
And they moved us. They moved us to closer to the whatever that area is called up there.
King Street.
Yeah, so we're no longer down on we're no longer on a moon around Pluto.
Right, exactly. Well, this is the last one for the season, so then they shut down June, July, and August, and start up again in September. So
yeah, right.
Last for First Friday.
Why they don't do it in the summer? It would be a nice summer thing.
I know the summer would be perfect.
Maybe it's too hot. But anyway, so this afternoon we've got another nursing home to go to play music at. Yep. Which is always fun.
2:00. Yep.
It's always fun. And then this evening is the Kiss the Horse event, and everybody's invited. I think it's $10, right?
Yes, $10 a piece.
And it's at OBS?
Yes.
So if you want to go, you will not see Robin and I kissing a horse because we did not beat... I mean, I don't know who's going to kiss the horse, but I know Madeline
Russo.
Madeline Russo's sweet lady.
Yeah.
She was in here. She's A mortgage, I think that's her business,
Yeah.
mortgages. I know she outdid us. She's the only one I know outdid us.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well. Dave Schlenker might have outdone us. Jim Ross might have outdone us. And of course, you got some rich guys in there.
All they have to do is write a check.
Mr. Genovese. But what's his name? First name? Bobby? Bobby Genovese.
Yeah.
He's a contender.
Yep.
Manal Fakori, another
Yep.
deep-pocketed lady.
All they got to do is write a
Just
check. And they'll win.
rent check.
Yeah. That's right.
And Lisa Varner was so sweet. She invited us
Oh, yeah.
to what was it called?
Jenkins Acura.
Jenkins, yes.
Yeah, the car dealership on 200.
And
She's
so
wonderful.
we did that. So it was a fun run for us to do the Kiss the Horse this time around. And for those of you who helped out, thank you. And I named as many people as I can remember on my Facebook post, and I hope I didn't leave anybody out. And
Thank you so much.
And everybody is a non-Facebook, but if you gave, if I start right now, I'm never going to finish, and I'm never going to remember everybody. But
Yeah.
if you know who you are, thank you so much.
Thank you for contributing.
And even supporting, even if it wasn't in dollars, if it was just telling people about what we were doing.
Yeah.
I'll be glad. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
It is. It's a
lot.
lot of work trying to raise money for something.
It is to put yourself on the line all the time.
I think when all is counted up, I think we will have close to $1,000.
Yeah.
So we can scrape a few more together. You know. And
Yeah, we make
it an even $1,000.
Yeah, we'll make our $1,000 goal. That was our goal.
But
$1,000.
I'm sure Madeline doubled that. I'm sure she's over 2,000.
Oh yeah.
That's what she
I
told us
believe so,
anyway.
yeah.
And she's the only one who actually told us what she had raised. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wonder if the others, when we go tonight, I'm curious what the conversation will be. Are they glad it's over?
Yeah. Right.
It's not easy raising money,
No.
I don't know how you nonprofits do it every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, every single day. Of course, in the for-profit world, you have to do the same thing, really, if you think about it.
That's right.
I just,
That's right.
I guess in our case, it's extra. It's something above and beyond. So.
Yeah, and we're out there actually physically doing something, playing and.
All right. Did I say everything I want to say before I get to this thing? I guess so. All right. So Baltimore. I mean, you look at the news. What's going on? This is America. What's the matter with those people? Why? Why would they? Why would they tear up their own town? Why would they do this?
It's just so stupid.
The mayor of Baltimore. If you want to call in on this, you're welcome to do it. I'm gonna.
She's a woman, right? I mean,
She's a pretty woman.
yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah. She said, her name is Stephanie Rawlings Blake. She was on the news, and she said, we gave those who wish to destroy space to do that as well.
Oh, gee.
What?
It's like, go ahead.
He gave him a place. So what place would you give him here in Ocala?
Yeah, the downtown square. Jeez,
No,
there
don't
you
give him
go.
a square.
No.
That got fixed up, and it's nice.
Yeah, that is the most ridiculous thing.
Give
Get
him
your.
She uttered those words while explaining how she had sought to maintain the very delicate balance between the right to protest and the safety of police officers as a week of demonstrations over the death of Freddie Gray began to turn violent on Saturday.
Treat them
Look,
like you would a child.
Let me tell you something.
know?
Everybody who is not protesting in Baltimore is also upset about the death of Freddie Gray.
Yeah.
Okay? The whole country is upset about the death of Freddie Gray. Nobody's telling us what the heck happened. So, of course, we're upset. We don't want to see stories like that. It's important to point out that these stories are very few and far between. They are the great exception to the rule. And yet, you knuckleheads can't get it through your head that people who you're hurting are on your side.
Yeah.
That's the thing they don't get. They don't get that the businesses that they're hurting, the policemen, that the cars that they're smashing. Please, the police force is on your side.
Yeah.
They are also ticked off about what happened to Freddie Gray. Trust me on this, they are. And hello, you throw a cinder block at a fire engine? Did you see that in the news?
No, that I did
You
not.
throw a fire engine is going to put out a fire that you jerks started.
Yeah. Oh man.
What the heck is wrong with them? Don't they? I mean, look at the people who've really made changes in this world, and look at how they did it. They did it with peaceful protesting.
Yeah. They're spoiled brats. That's all they are, and the mayor's giving them license to keep doing it.
Rawlings Blake was only 21 at the time of the Crown Heights riots in 1991 when New York Mayor David Dinkins held the police back in order to let protesters blow off a little steam. But the destructive result was something anyone who runs a city should have studied, because now Baltimore is going through that same thing.
Yeah.
To make matters worse, each thrown brick or bottle, each trashed car, each store looted and burned was an insult to Freddie Gray's twin sister. Her brother had become the second young man to suffer fatal spinal injuries after being arrested for the petty crime that he allegedly committed and loaded into the Baltimore police van. She nonetheless remained a voice for peace. She says, "My family wants to say you can all please stop the violence." Frederica Gray made sense. Unfortunately, her brother is no longer with us, and somebody needs to answer for that. But this is not how you do it, you stupid, moronic. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. Chances are most of them don't know him anyway, so it's just the stupidest thing.
Monday began the chilling word from the Baltimore police of a, quote, credible threat that the Black Guerrilla family, the Crips, and the Bloods had formed an alliance to kill white police officers, as if we're suddenly back in the 1970s in the time of the Black Liberation Army. How do they possibly defend this? How do they possibly justify this?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's stupid. There's
Anyway, and if you read the comments on Facebook from our friends of every color, they're all saying the same thing I'm saying. I'm not saying anything that nobody else is saying. This is a few stupid people who are just being stupid. And as always, you know what you see, in addition to the burning and the rock throwing and the bottle throwing, you see TVs leaving stores. You see merchandise leaving stores.
Yeah,
that's what this is
stealing.
really about.
Exactly.
That's what it's always really about. Did you see, by the way, the mother that went down? Her son was part of this protest, and she saw him on TV throwing something. She recognized him. He was dressed like one of those ISIS guys, by the way. He had the mask or a ninja, whatever you want to call him. So she goes down there. Did you see her?
No, I did
And
not.
she's just whooping him. We'll be right back.
Weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be mostly cloudy today with a couple of showers and thunderstorms. Any thunderstorm can produce flooding, downpours, and damaging wind gusts later today. The high 77 to 81. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around those 67 to 71. Tomorrow mostly cloudy and breezy with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms. The high 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Looking for that spot to try some real Cuban food? Head on over to Mama V's Cuban Cafe with home-cooked food just like Abuela used to make it. Mama V's is the #1 authentic Cuban cuisine. Centrally located on Highway 200 in Ocala. Best Cuban sandwich, steak, black beans and rice, and yummy sweet plantains. Tres leche and flan for dessert. Mama V's is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 9. Sandwich combos include side and drink for $7.95. And you've got to try Mama V's tropical shakes. 622-1727. Mama V's Cuban Cafe.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
If your toddler seems to end up wearing more of their food than they eat, don't freak. Messy eaters, we now know, they tend to pick up languages more easily. Instead, our biggest dementia risk boils down to the foods we eat. Stay away from red meat, butter, sweets, and fried food. If you're trying to make a good impression on a man, do not worry about small flaws in your appearance like a chipped fingernail or a stain on your shirt, because chances are he won't even notice.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line and a new spoiler and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right. 12 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. All right, let's switch tracks. Nobody called in to comment on the last subject, which is fine with me. If you are wanting to call in about that, you are welcome to. But right now I'm changing subjects. So let's talk about the property rights bill that passed on Friday. I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but we had the guy from Jefferson Starship on the air, which was kind of cool. David Freeberg?
Yes.
Was his name?
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
So David Freeberg and Jefferson Airplane, if you haven't already heard, there's a free concert. It's in honor of veterans happening down in the Villages tomorrow.
Yep.
It's free.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the Savannah
Center.
Savannah Center?
Yep, Savannah
Wherever
Center.
that is down in the Villages.
Yep. Jefferson Starship will be there.
And it is, Jefferson Starship, one of the biggest bands. I mean, everything was always second to the Beatles. So it was the Beatles and then everybody else. But they were up there.
They're saluting the Vietnam veterans. So if you are a Vietnam veteran, please go because this concert is for you.
Right. All right. So a property rights bill filed in response to a U.S. Supreme Court case ruling in favor of an Orange County landowner passed the House on Friday. Now it goes to the Senate. The Supreme Court in 2013 overturned a Florida Supreme Court ruling. The U.S. Supreme Court overturned the Florida Supreme Court against the late Coy A. Kuntz Sr. You remember this story?
Yes.
He wanted to build on 3.7 acres of his 15 acres in Orange County. He wanted to build on 3.7 of them. The St. Johns River Water Management District told him in 1994 that he could build if he built a smaller, if he built smaller, he could build, but he couldn't build as big as he wanted, or if he paid to restore wetlands on agency property that was 7 miles away.
Gee.
That's what they told him.
I
Well, you
know.
can build smaller, or you can pay to restore the wetlands on property that the state owns 7 miles away. And Kuntz said that's ridiculous, and he refused to do it. House Bill 383 creates a cause of action to recover monetary damages for landowners where state and local governments impose conditions that rise to the level of, quote, unconstitutional exactions. So that's what this bill does. It creates a cause of action to recover monetary damages for landowners where state and local governments impose conditions that rise above the level of unconstitutional exactions. I didn't read it a second time for you. I read it a second time for me. I just wanted to make sure I understood what it meant. I thought I did, but I wanted to be sure. So basically, if the state forced you to spend money that just seemed like unreasonable, this bill, if it's passed by the Senate and signed by the governor, will be your ticket to getting some of that money back. The bill had pitted property rights supporters against local governments, with the Florida Association of Counties and Florida League of Cities opposing the bill back in the early days of the bill. State Representative Katie Edwards, a Democrat from Plantation, sponsored the bill, which is House Bill 383, the one we're talking about. And I think it's a smart bill, it sounds like to me. So for those of you who say I don't support Democrats, you're wrong. Look, there's an example right there.
Yeah.
But supporters say the definition of damages that could be claimed against local governments were narrowed after meetings with interested parties. The FAC, I hate when they use abbreviations.
I know.
Florida Association of Counties and Cities, okay? FAC. And the League of Cities representatives said their concerns were addressed during committee stops. Last Thursday, the House removed language that allowed local governments to treat claims during the permitting process as pending litigation, meaning they could be discussed in closed meetings. State Representative Joseph Geller, a Democrat from Aventura, said the Sunshine Law exemption had to pass as a standalone bill, and the legislature should take that action next year. Geller said it's a very good bill. It's balanced. It protects the rights of citizens. It also protects local governments. Edwards used the bill adoption to honor former state representative Bert J. Harris Sr., who is 95 years old, who she said was watching the House session. The legislature in 1995 adopted the Bert J. Harris Jr. Private Property Rights Protection Act, allowing landowners to sue for compensation for government action that inordinately burdens their property.
Okay.
Can you imagine? I mean, it's just...
Man.
We had this big campaign that we did against eminent domain.
Yes.
The claiming of land. Now, I know what the Constitution says about that. It says that if a government wants to take land for public use, they can compensate for you, and you basically have no say-so.
Yeah.
Our argument with that stemmed from a situation up in Connecticut. I'm sure you remember this, when they were building a shopping center. How is that public use? How is that a public property?
Exactly.
I mean, I can understand the widening of 484 down in Bellevue. All those people had to move when they widened 484.
Yeah.
But the property rights really should be protected, and unless you can explain to me what I'm not seeing here, I think this is a good idea. Let me go to the phone. Correct me if I'm wrong. Good morning. You're on the air.
Larry, this is a really interesting topic, especially for people who cherish their liberty and their right to own property.
I think so.
Thank you. Even with this bill, our position as citizens is so weak, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's just say I own a piece of property on somewhere, and some bureaucrat in some office with some government agency that the name is a bunch of letters, and I don't even know what they mean, like the Florida Association of Cities and Counties or something like that. I'm just using that as an example. Some nameless bureaucrat in some agency with a bunch of gobbledygook letters as a title. It's up in Tallahassee or in City Hall, doesn't matter. With the stroke of a pen, they say my property is needed for X, Y, Z, or that I need to pay more taxes, or I need to get a new permit. I mean, just all they have to do is sign the bottom of a form. And that happens. And then I have the burden of going to court, suing them, finding a lawyer, taking time off from work, getting a legal description of my property, going down and making copies of all these other forms that the government wants me to fill out. Blah, 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 blah. They put an incredible burden on us just with the stroke of a pen. And I'm glad they passed this law that, allows people to sue, but just think about that. The property that I've worked hard for, maybe it's been in my family for 3 or 4 generations or whatever, it doesn't matter. I own the property, but one bureaucrat in some office can put a burden on me that would crush the normal person. And then I have to wait years for the suit to go through court, and I have to go through the appeal process and blah, 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 blah. And then maybe I might get some money. And I don't know if you've ever waited for money from the state or from the government, but they take their time about writing the check, too. So it is just incredible how we are slowly seeing our liberty and our right to own property nibbled away. Thank you, Larry.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well said. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that. And just going back to the eminent domain issue, even though we have, it is unconstitutional to, somebody help me quote the Constitution, to seize property or whatever, you don't have the right to seize property. I'm having a hard time just remembering the exact wording. But the point is, you are protected by the Constitution. They cannot take it away from you, and yet they do. And eminent domain is often cited. And while I say I can understand it, it doesn't make it any easier. I mean, unless you're really getting paid a nice sum of money for your land that you've worked hard to build. And P.S., the other part of this is, the property taxes can become unreasonable.
Yes.
What do you do when the property taxes become unreasonable? The argument that we don't own our land, we literally rent it, even though we say it's paid in full, is absolutely a good argument, because we don't truly own our land, because we're constantly faced with the idea that if we don't pay the property taxes, we lose our land.
Yes, exactly. They'll take
We
it.
lose our real estate if you don't pay it. So, I mean, really well said. And then this bill right here that we were just talking about, what did I call it again? House bill?
House
Bill 383. And by the way, the bill passed 113-1. The Senate version of the bill is Senate Bill 284. You know, I used to do the Senate bill and the House bill numbers for everything I talked about. I should start doing that again. Anyway, the House bill is 383. The Senate bill is 284. That's the one that hasn't gone through yet. But anyway, assuming they both go through, assuming the governor signs it, now you're set up with a law supposedly to protect you. Mm-hmm. Pete's point that they can then put burdensome paperwork on you, burdensome applications, burdensome qualifications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And if you had to jump through those hoops that somebody was putting you through, whether it was to prevent you from buying the land, prevent you from moving, prevent you from whatever, expanding, as it did this guy, Mr. Kuntz, who is not even alive to see this anymore.
No,
okay? You can do, lawyers do this all the time. They will charge for your time.
Yeah.
So why then wouldn't it be right for you to, at the same time, okay, so you're going to figure the value of your property? Well, then figure out the amount of time you spend filling out those forms. Mm-hmm. What are you worth? What is your worth when you're at home? When you're at home and your time, and you have to sit at your kitchen table with your forms that you have to fill out so that you can keep your property and you can keep the home that you and your wife and your children are trying to have a living at.
Yes.
So you're sitting at your kitchen table and it takes you an hour to fill out that form. Well, I think you're worth a couple $1,000s an hour in my book.
At least.
So every time you fill out one of those forms, go back to the state and say, look, you made me fill out this form. It took me an hour. My time is worth $6,000 an hour when I'm home. Forget the fact that I'm worth $10 an hour at work. At my place, I'm worth $6,000 an hour.
Exactly.
Here's my bill. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A state of emergency in Baltimore as police try to restore order after a violent protest over the death of Freddie Gray, who died in police custody.
Buildings burned to the ground, police officers injured. There is a curfew going into effect tonight at 10 p.m. to get people off the streets.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. It's the defense's turn in the Boston Marathon bombing trial penalty phase.
Echoing the defense they began during the guilt or innocence phase of the trial, Johar Tsarnaev's lawyers saying he was a good kid who was led astray by his fanatical brother Tamerlan. Defense attorney David Bruck told jurors there is no punishment Tsarnaev can get that would be equal to the suffering of the bombing victims, and there's no point in, quote, trying to hurt him as he hurt because it can't be done.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. And the Supreme Court set to hear arguments today on gay marriage. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Fox News Early Prime, breaking down business news and its impact on your bottom line. Your World with Neil Cavuto.
That's how I do business. That's why I am business.
Bold positions and brash opinions on the topics America is buzzing about. The Five.
How do you think this will set in with the American people?
This will be the pulse of the nation.
Washington insight and political know-how from the best in the Beltway. Special report with Brett Bay.
The epicenter of the political world is here.
The number one place for fair and balanced coverage. Fox News Channel.
What's wrong with working hard to make our lives and our kids' lives better? Nothing. At Fox Business, we don't have a problem with success. We have a very big problem with those who get in the way of it. We don't come out of the box bashing those who make money, just the politicians stealing it and the bureaucracies wasting it. We're not just sitting behind a desk. We're out in the field, on the floor, with the folks. Because when it goes forward, so do we.
Fox Business, the power to prosper. Check your local listings.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would